Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today I'm going to be going over my picks for the top 10 supercars that you should buy in Grand Theft Auto Online. Some of these are going to be really good for racing, some of them are going to be really good to use in free mode, and some just look really cool. And some of them are all-rounders that do pretty much everything that you're going to want them to do. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started with number 10. At number 10 we have the Overflawed Autark, coming in at $1,980,000. This is available on Legendary Motorsport, a little ways down but not too far down. It is a very cool sort of track day inspired supercar with some nice customization options and some really good performance. The Overflawed Autark was formerly within the top 10 fastest supercars in Grand Theft Auto Online around a circuit. However, now it is just outside of the top 10, so it is still a really fast car. It's got some great performance. The handling on the Autark is probably my favorite part about it. It is very lightweight feeling, so it doesn't really have any sort of issue with cornering, even though it is only rear-wheel drive. The Autark is also really underrated. You never see anybody driving these in free mode. Maybe that's for good reason, but I think it's probably just because unfortunately it doesn't have any sort of lock-on jammer or anything like that. I think it's a cool car. I think you guys would appreciate buying it. That's why I'm recommending it. That's it for number 10. On to number 9. At number 9 we have the Grotti Furia. Now this thing comes in at $2,080,000 if you have the trade price, or up to $2,740,000 if you don't have the trade price. Now, I would definitely recommend getting the trade price for the Furia because it does have some pretty good performance, but it's not quite $3 million performance, I would say. It is all-wheel drive, it is very fast, it accelerates harder than the Pegassi Ignis, in fact. That might be surprising to some of you, however the top speed is a little bit lower. But it does have some nice customization options, and I do think it is a very appealing looking vehicle. It looks a lot like the Ferrari 488 Pista, in my opinion, but I know it is based on the Pininfarina Battista in real life. Overall, it is a very cool car. It does have an active rear spoiler, which I think is pretty sweet as well. Definitely very modern looking, and certainly a good car to pick up. I would definitely recommend getting the Furia if you've never had one before. At number 8 we have the Pfister 811, coming in at $1,135,000. This is the cheapest car on this list by a long shot, and it has one thing in particular that it does very well, and that is go very fast in a straight line, because the Pfister 811 has a super high top speed of 133 miles per hour, which on last gen consoles and PC is very quick, as I'm sure you guys are well aware. However, if you are on the expanded and enhanced edition of GTA on the PS5 or Xbox Series X or S, you can probably skip out on the Pfister 811 because you do have faster cars due to HSW being on your platforms, so you probably don't need to worry about the Pfister 811. But for the players that are on old gen, the Pfister 811 is going to be a great car to pick up if you want to get across the map quickly. This thing is awesome, and for the price that it costs, it is a really good performer. Unfortunately, the handling is not the greatest ever, however, I would say it is far from the worst handling. You can still go around corners very quickly with this thing, just expect a little bit of oversteer, but it is quite manageable, so don't worry too much about that. At number 7 we have a very budget-friendly option with the Dubachi Wagner, coming in at $1,535,000. The Wagner is one of the cheapest, best overall supercars in the game. This is actually within the top 10 fastest supercars on old gen and PC, and on next gen it is maybe within or just outside of the top 10 fastest supercars for circuit racing. So that's pretty crazy considering this car came out about 5 years ago, which is nuts. But the Wagner has a pretty high top speed of 126. It also has insanely good downforce, and of course because of that it has very good handling as well. It's got some nice customization. It is a very cool looking futuristic sort of styled car, but not too futuristic to the point where it's ugly like the Tesseract. The Wagner is certainly a car that I would recommend picking up, especially if you are a little bit newer to GTA, or like I said, if you're on a bit of a budget. The Wagner is going to serve you very well. Next up at number 6 we have the Truffade Thrax, coming in at $2,355,000. The Thrax is a very good overall package of a supercar. It is a decent top speed, it's got very good handling. This thing almost feels like it is glued to the road. It's kind of crazy actually. Short of the F1 cars in GTA and cars like the LM87, the Thrax has got to have some of the best handling of all the supercars in the game, especially considering that it's actually a car. Like, it's not a full-blown race car, it's not an F1 car, it's like an actual car with 2 seats, a nice interior and everything like that. The handling on this vehicle is absolutely insane. It sticks to the ground. It is super fast in the corners. It's got a lot of customization as well, which may be surprising to some of you. And the stock wheels on this car are so cool. I have them on my car right now, and I have them in black due to the wheel color glitch that is available on some platforms. And I think that this car looks super awesome. Definitely look into getting yourself a Thrax. It is an awesome car. You will not regret it. Next up at number 5, we have the Pagani Torero XO coming in at $2,890,000. The Pagani Torero XO is a great supercar in Grand Theft Auto Online. It was added last summer with the Criminal Enterprises DLC, and it's just an awesome vehicle. The only shortcoming that it has is the downforce on the car is completely non-existent, so it doesn't have any sort of a downforce value applied to it, meaning that the handling is going to lack a little bit in comparison to some of the other supercars that we're going to touch on this list. However, it does still handle very well. It is all-wheel drive, which definitely helps on top of that, and has a very good top speed of about 132 miles per hour, on top of having a ton of great customization options. The Torero XO is one of the best looking cars in the entire game, and I think it is certainly, maybe even the best looking supercar in the entire game, in my opinion at least. It is a little on the expensive side, but you do get what you pay for, I would say. Next up at number 4, we have the Progen Emrys coming in at $2,750,000. This thing is an insane track car in GTA. It is rear wheel drive only, and it is based on the McLaren Senna in real life. The Emrys absolutely tears up the racetrack. If you can learn how to drive the Emrys effectively, it will beat the Krieger every single time that you enter a race with it. The Krieger is all-wheel drive, so it is a little bit easier than the Emrys, but once you get the hang of the Emrys, there is no going back. This thing has a very good top speed. It's got a lot of downforce, so the handling, again, once you get used to it, is very good. It's got a little bit of customization. Overall, it's not my favorite looking car necessarily, but it is still a great vehicle to pick up, and it is the #1 fastest supercar in the game on last gen, including PC, Xbox One, and PS4. If you're on new gen, it is still within the top 10 fastest supercars. It's probably going to lose to some of the HSW vehicles for sure. That's it for number 4. Let's talk about number 3. Here we have the Benefactor LM87 coming in at $2,915,000, and this is a literal race car. It is a one-seater supercar, so you cannot have any friends in this thing. It is for you only. But trust me, that's fine, because this thing performs insanely well. Now currently on PC, it actually has a speed glitch, so the gameplay that you are seeing in the background of this video, just know it might not quite do this on your platform, but on PC currently it goes insanely fast. The car goes so fast it vibrates and it will just take off. But luckily, no matter what platform you're on, the downforce and the handling of the LM87 are going to be the same. This car allows you to go around any corner as fast as you possibly want. It is crazy the amount of downforce that this thing has. It almost feels like the open wheel cars in GTA, but it's not. It's just an LM87 supercar, and you can use this in the supercar category races. The only thing that the LM87 doesn't really have is an insanely high top speed. For example, the Emrys that we just talked about definitely has a higher top speed than the LM87, but this thing does handle better. So on twistier circuits, this thing could definitely take out a Progen Emrys for sure. It's got some nice customization. It is very cool looking. Overall, I would recommend the LM87 100%. At number 2, we have the Ocelot Virtue coming in at $2,235,000. all the way up to $2,980,000. However, don't let that price fool you, because you can actually get this thing for free. All you're going to have to do is complete the first and last dose missions from the Los Santos Drug Wars DLC that came out last December, and you're going to get rewarded with an Ocelot Virtue for absolutely no cost to you. If you want to buy a second one, that's when you're going to have to worry about the pricing, but for most people, one Virtue is enough. Now, what makes this car so cool is it is the fastest accelerating car on last gen, by far, and even on current gen consoles, it actually pretty much destroys every single thing in the game except for the Coil Cyclone 2 with the HSW upgrade. It's that fast. Now, unfortunately, it does have a pretty low top speed of about 120 miles per hour. However, it is an Amani Tech capable vehicle, meaning that you can put an armor upgrade as well as a missile lock-on jammer and oil slick proximity mines. So this thing is absolutely insane for free mode. Such a good car. You can pretty much get away from anybody. You can drop the oil slicks and nobody's going to be able to lock onto you. And even if they hit you with a missile, you're going to survive a ton of them. The Virtue is insane. It is definitely a car that you should pick up, and I would definitely recommend doing it the free way by completing the first and last dose missions from the Drug Wars DLC. And the number one supercar in Grand Theft Auto Online, as you may have guessed, it is the Pegasi weaponized Ignis with the HSW upgrade. This is going to run you $4,500,000, so it is very expensive. It is based on one of the best looking supercars in the entire game as well, the Pegasi Ignis, but it has a minigun turret on the top of it. Now, unfortunately with the minigun turret, it only faces forward on the car. It does not do a full 360 swivel, but that's okay. It is still very handy to have. This car comes equipped with a lock-on jammer, no Imani tech, just a lock-on jammer, so players in oppressors, jets, or players that have homing missiles cannot actually lock onto you. It's also very fast with a top speed of about 142 miles per hour once you have the HSW upgrade fully applied. It's also all-wheel drive, it seats 2 players, and it is extremely quick. Definitely the number one best supercar to have in the entire game for sure if you guys have access to it, because unfortunately this is only available on the PS5 and Xbox Series S and X versions of Grand Theft Auto Online. If you're not on either of those 2 versions, you're not going to be able to get this, which I know is very, very sad. But there you have it, guys. That is it for my picks for the top 10 supercars to buy in Grand Theft Auto Online. Let me know what you thought of my list in the comments down below. Make sure you guys leave a like if you enjoyed the video, dislike if you didn't, of course. Subscribe to my channel if you guys are new and you want to see more content like this, and I will see you all in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.